What would you do if your HOA president kidnapped your child to teach you respect, and then realized too late that they just committed a federal crime against a sitting judge who could destroy their entire life with a single phone call? If you love interesting stories like this that expose the truth, please give this video a thumbs up and tell us in the comments section where in the world you are watching this video, and also do well to smash that subscribe button. You don't expect a neighbor to hate your child over basketball sounds. But that's exactly how Keisha Washington's new life in Phoenix, Arizona began. She'd worked years to buy a home in a peaceful suburb. Tree-lined streets, perfect lawns, and a neighborhood association promising safety. The White House on Cedar Valley Drive felt perfect for her 8-year-old son Jamal to finally play without fear. They moved in September. Jamal found his basketball and started dribbling in their driveway. Thump, thump, thump. Within 10 minutes, a blonde woman with a clipboard appeared. She had a fake smile that never reached her cold eyes. "You must be new neighbors," she said without invitation. "I'm Patricia Campbell, HOA president." Keisha wiped her hands. "Nice to meet you." Patricia stared at Jamal's basketball. "We have noise rules. Continuous bouncing disrupts our atmosphere." The threat hung in the air. Jamal stopped, confused. Keisha forced politeness. "We'll be careful." But her stomach twisted. 1 hour in, and already rules about a child playing at home. Patricia became a constant shadow. If Jamal left his bike out, she'd mention it. If trash cans were slightly off-center, angry emails followed. She said, "I can't bounce my ball after 5 p.m. Jamal told his mom one day, frustrated. Keisha stayed calm, though fury burned inside. She'd handled worse in her career, but wanted peace for Jamal. Days later, Patricia cornered her. "Jamal's been bouncing outside approved hours," she said coldly. "Approved hours?" Keisha's eyebrows lifted. "It's in the handbook. We maintain standards here." Keisha resisted laughing. "My son is playing in his own driveway. He's 8. Patricia's lips pressed thin. "We'll see." This wasn't about basketball. This was about control. By October, small complaints became formal letters. White HOA envelopes filled Keisha's mailbox. Excessive noise, improper driveway use, claiming Jamal's basketball posed property damage risk. Keisha kept every letter. Legal training taught her documentation matters. At the first HOA meeting, Patricia stood up. "We have ongoing concern. A resident's child repeatedly violates noise restrictions." Every head turned toward Keisha. "If you mean my son playing basketball, address me directly instead of making this a spectacle," Keisha said calmly. "We address all violations publicly," Patricia replied sharply. "I've read the bylaws. They don't mention basketball." Someone coughed to hide a laugh. "It's about maintaining peace," Patricia insisted. "Everyone includes children. Kids playing outside isn't disruption, it's life." Small acts of sabotage began. Jamal's hoop was knocked over. Plants were moved. Patricia's car cruised past their house constantly. Keisha called her friend Victor Rodriguez, a U.S. Marshal. "A neighbor's crossing lines. People like that escalate when they lose control," he warned. Before Keisha could act, everything exploded. Friday afternoon, Jamal called out. "Going to Tyler's house. Back before dinner. Text when you arrive," Keisha replied. Hours passed. No text. No Jamal. Tyler's mom, Sarah, said he'd left at 4:30, but never arrived home. Panic set in. Keisha called 911. During the search, Sarah's neighbor showed them doorbell camera footage. It was grainy but clear. Jamal walking alone, then Patricia's silver SUV pulling up. She got out, spoke briefly, gestured to her car. Jamal hesitated, then got in. They drove away. "Oh my God," Sarah whispered. Police rushed to Patricia's house. She answered casually, almost bored. "We need to speak about a missing child," the officer said. Patricia crossed her arms. "I know exactly where he is." Keisha stepped forward, voice sharp. "Where is my son?" "He's fine. I wanted to teach him respect and remind you this community has rules." Every muscle in Keisha's body screamed to push past the officers. Instead, she locked eyes with Patricia and spoke low enough only she could hear. "You just made the biggest mistake of your life." But Patricia had no idea who she was dealing with. At the police station, Detective Mike Stevens showed Keisha more footage. Patricia had circled their block twice before approaching Jamal. She'd waved to neighbors afterward, acting casual. "That's premeditation," Keisha said flatly. Stevens nodded. "This changes everything. I hear you have legal background. I'm a federal judge." His eyes widened. "That puts us in a different ballgame. This could be federal charges." "Good." She used her HOA position to intimidate and target us. "I want this elevated." At Patricia's arraignment, she wore a jumpsuit but carried herself like attending a board meeting. Her smirk faded when federal prosecutors stood up. "Your Honor, due to premeditation and abuse of authority, the United States pursues federal kidnapping charges. The victim's mother, Judge Keisha Washington, is a sitting federal court judge. This constitutes offense against a federal official's family." Patricia's head snapped toward Keisha, confusion turning to panic. The magistrate ordered Patricia held without bond. 6 weeks later, at sentencing, Keisha addressed the court. "This isn't just about my son. It's about everyone who's been told someone else's rules matter more than their rights. Titles don't excuse cruelty. Authority doesn't erase accountability." The judge sentenced Patricia to 8 years in federal prison. Outside, reporters crowded around. Keisha spoke clearly. "Laws exist to protect the vulnerable. When we bend them for convenience, we put every child, every neighbor, every community at risk." This was never about grudges. It was about drawing a line no one has the right to cross. Back in the neighborhood, change came slowly. Patricia's supporters disappeared. Gregory, her vice president, stepped down. People who'd kept their distance began greeting Keisha openly. One afternoon, Jamal was back outside, dribbling his basketball. The sound echoed confidently down the street. Neighborhood kids joined him, laughing as they played. Keisha watched from the window. For the first time since moving in, she didn't feel watched or judged. "What did you learn from all this?" she asked Jamal later. He thought carefully. "Some people try to scare you just because they can. But you can't let them." Exactly. And that's true no matter how old you are. No matter where you live or who your neighbors are, remember this. Power is only as strong as the silence it's built on. Speak up. Protect your people. Never let anyone convince you they're above the law. Every community should be safe for every family. Authority without accountability is just bullying with a title.